One man is being victimized by our own government. One man whom they fear, yet who millions love. One man who is willing to take the poison arrows of lawfare. One man whose voice has been taken away by a corrupt judge operating in a corrupt system. One man who has been ridiculed and insulted. One man who refused to back down. One man who refused to back down. One man who refused to back down. One man who stands between us and them. One man that wants to see America protected again. One man who wants to see America prosper again. One man who understands that a man is a man and a woman is a woman. One man who understands and protects the blessing of life. One man who wants to restore American exceptionalism. One man who once again wants to make America that shining city on a hill for all to see. A place where all the people of the world glowingly set their eyes upon. America. One man who unashamedly wants to make America great again. That one man is Donald Trump.
This is Fanfare with Barry Cunningham.
Well, it's good to be back in the chair, albeit on a Sunday afternoon. Thank you guys for tuning in. Got so much to cover. In a video I posted yesterday, I said I'm going to be doing some new things, some which you will recognize, some that's in production, and some of you who pay real attention may see some things differently, and they're going to be rolled in over the next couple days as I get all my technology stuff put together. But we're going to be doing some different things. And one of those things is I want to make sure, well, you'll see. Let me just say that. But thank you guys. Missed you. I've been not away, been here, but Ashley, my daughter, and my two granddaughters were here for 5 days, and we had just an amazing time. And I just wanted to spend some time with them because they're getting ready to go back to school, and so I might not see them until we go back up to North Carolina. So we took the time to, take some time, sit down and see how they're doing and just have some fun with them. They're growing up. One is 10 and the other is 12. These are awesome years to be kids, and we want to just participate with them. That being said, let me get into today's show. And I hope I got so much, because here's what I did at night. At night, while everybody went to bed and went to sleep, I started compiling all kinds of content. And so today I'm going to take you through some of that content, and we're going to talk about what's been going on today and, the last couple days and things of that nature, and we'll get through it. But first of all, I want to let you guys know that today's episode, my partners at Lear Capital, they've been awesome to this channel, and I just wanted to thank them. Take a listen.
It's genius. It's pure genius. America is the country that started the AI race, and as President of the United States, I'm here today to declare that America is going to win it. We're going to work hard. We're going to win it.
Why do so many financial experts call silver the most undervalued asset today? Because silver is essential to the future. From solar tech and electric vehicles to the explosive growth of artificial intelligence. Demand is rising fast, and yet silver is still trading at a bargain. With billions pouring into AI, silver prices have only one place to go, and that's up. In fact, silver may be the most overlooked asset class in financial planning. The opportunity for silver is well documented. The market for silver could double or even triple by 2026. You see, I believe in hard assets like this bar of silver. You can hold it in your hand, you can put it in your IRA, you can put it in your home safe, and relative to gold, it's very affordable. That's why I urge you to call my friends at Lear Capital and get their free report, The AI Revolution, and see why silver prices could be set to soar. Call 800-601-5430 or go to learberry.com. But don't wait. We all know, we've seen it. The government can print lots and lots of dollars, but they can't print silver. Okay, so what we're going to be doing today is talking about a number of different subjects. We're going to be talking later on, we're going to be talking about Democrat regret. There's a lot of Democrat regret going on. I want to bring that to you. Another story we're going to be talking about that I've been actually, dovetailing off of the Lear Capital stuff there. Prosperity is a good thing. And America's starting to wake up and realize prosperity is a good thing. And then we're going to have a story to you about, seriously, nobody can stop what is coming. Nope, nobody. And that's going to be a fun segment. And then if I have time, we're going to tell you how how fitness has become racist. But before we begin and get to those stories, let me get to you the main event thing here, the main story I want to kick off with, because it's the 10 things that I believe at this point President Trump needs to do to bring the hammer down. And it's very important, but let me give you a little bit of a backstory here. Okay, as a fact, you all know that nearly 80 million people voted for President Trump. The key word in that statement is voted for. 80 million people voted for President Trump. Another fact off of that number is none of us, unless they are in the administration, none of us on X or Facebook or YouTube work for the Trump administration. That might surprise you with the way people talk so authoritatively. None of us works for the Trump administration. Another fact for you. None of us, nobody on digital social media has any decision-making involvement whatsoever in what President Trump does. So with all that being said, I have one question for you. Maybe I'll have a couple. Why do people put so much credence into what those outside of the administration have to say? That seems like an easy question, but I want you to sit back and go, really? Why are people putting so much credence in what other people have to say? The easy answer is many say what you want to hear. So it's comfortable. People don't like going in those spaces that are uncomfortable. For most guys, we don't want to go into the women's restroom. It's kind of uncomfortable. You don't want to go there, so you stay away from it. It doesn't distort your confirmation bias. And before I can talk about distorting confirmation bias, I have to make sure you know what confirmation bias is. So I'm going to ask you, do you understand what confirmation bias is? So let me go to just a real easy site. Let's go to, I guess this is Google AI. As soon as you put it in the search engine, this is what comes up. And let's take a look at it. All right, confirmation bias is seeing what you want to see, hearing what you want to hear. And then you basically judge your life and your activity based upon your confirmation bias. And you don't like that being distorted whatsoever. If you like apple pie, but you don't like spinach, there's no way I can put apple pie on the spinach to get you to eat the spinach. You don't like it. You don't want it. You're going to refuse it. I want my apple pie with my whipped cream or my ice cream, and I don't want this. Anybody trying to serve this stuff up to me, hey, I can't have that. You're distorting my confirmation bias. All right, so confirmation bias is actually a cognitive bias. People tend to favor information that confirms their existing beliefs or hypothesis. A very simple determination for confirmation bias is, and you see it every single day, and then you also see people trying to distort the confirmation bias. One of those is the entire Dan Bongino clique, the Bongino army. There is nothing you are going to say that's going to get most of the people off of their belief, their firm belief, their confidence, their confirmation in Dan Bongino. Doesn't matter. He basically walks on water to people, even if it's different than what President Trump is doing. And you see certain people out there who are attacking Dan Bongino, and it's a good form of engagement because the confirmation bias people are going to come in and scream at you. But they have a sincere confirmation bias. And as you dig into, what confirmation bias is, it says individuals are more likely to seek out information that supports their current views, even when exposed to contradictory information, they may choose to interpret it in a way that aligns with their own beliefs. Their beliefs are so strong, I can't listen to you. I am in the Bongino army, and there's nothing you can say that's going to change my mind. And this video isn't about the Bongino army. That's just an indication or a example of strong confirmation bias. You saw it recently with the whole Sydney Sweeney thing. Liberals wear jeans. Liberals have always wore jeans. When I was in college, we had a wear jeans on Wednesday if you're gay day. Everybody has worn jeans. But now all of a sudden, not those jeans. No, not with the blonde buxom lady slithering around. No, we can't have none of that nasty stuff. But didn't Beyonce just do some stuff with jeans a few months ago? Oh, that's okay. Confirmation bias. It's just how you look at things. And it can be kind of dangerous because you would think, based upon where we were on July 13th, we all had confirmation bias. And then you see in October and November, there was no daylight in MAGA. None. Everyone universally wanted the exact same thing. And every single influencer wanted the exact same thing. But in just 6 months, and if I'm the first one to tell you this, let me just be honest with you, it might distort your, quote, confirmation bias. You have been exploited. You continue to be exploited. Now people who would never have dared turn away from the MAGA base are now openly exploiting that base because they have found lanes and openings where there were no lanes and openings in July, October, and November. Now there's a niche. Hey, there's people who think they can make some money exploiting or distorting the confirmation bias of Dan Bongino supporters. Hey, there's people over here who think they can make some money because they can exploit the confirmation bias of people who may not be fans of Israel. People have now scouted out those little crevices and said, hey, you know what? There's a way for me to make money right here, so I'm going to exploit this. And they're doing it. One of the big refrains, one of the huge confirmation bias distortions is the one that people are shouting out all over the place, including me and my wife at certain times that we have said it. You may have said it, and it is nothing's happening. Nothing's going to happen. I won't believe anything until I see arrest. How many times have you said that or heard it or read it and you realize, well, that's only since January. See, prior to January, everybody was on the same page. Oh, we're going to go get them. Now, It's July. I haven't seen anything happening yet. I don't know what the hell's going on. Oh, Trump's this, and there's Epstein's, and Epstein that, and Epsteiniak says this, and no one's getting arrested, and I'm mad. So I'm going to exploit your confirmation bias. The one that, you had in July, October, and November, and now I see an opening. I see a way to make some money. Because you're a little disgruntled, and the more I can feed into that disgruntled nature that you have, the more money I can make. And so you're seeing people do that. But I want to show you something that should possibly tell you, pump the brakes. And one of those things that I want to show you, let me see if I can pull it up here. All right. We all know that President Trump got arrested. Indicted, tried up in New York City with Judge Merchant. And all that Stormy Daniels stuff, remember? Yeah. So let me show you something and point out some really interesting things to you. One of those things is, in the Stormy Daniels thing, I want you to look at this. Following Michael Cohen's August 2018, remember that, admission of guilt, Manhattan District Attorney Cyrus Vance opened an investigation against the Trump Organization and two of its executives. The office paused its inquiry when the Office of the Federal U.S. Attorney for the Southern District of New York began a separate investigation into payments, but the federal inquiry concluded without charges in 2019. So all the way back in 2018, they were trying to figure out, how can we take down this guy? And then, following the 2021 New York County District Attorney election, Alvin Bragg succeeded Cyrus Vance. And he went, I might have something. So let me start, investigating President Trump. And I want to drop down here. So remember that first date in March 2021, right? Early 2021. Now we're at 2023. 2 years later, District Attorney Alvin Bragg's office indicated that an indictment was likely by March 9th, 2023. Prosecutors had offered Trump a chance to testify before the grand jury, indicating they were likely preparing to indict him. That's March 2023, right? Let's go down further. The Manhattan grand jury voted to indict Trump on March 30th, 2023. So remember the days I've showed you, this has been going on since 2018. This is 5 years of various investigations before they were able to get a grand jury to indict him in 2023. 5 years. All right, let's continue. The indictment charged him with 34 felony counts, as you know. And it went on, and proceedings and everything else, and discovery, and request for recusal, motions, depositions, all kinds of stuff kept happening all through the next couple years. Down to the point where, did I pass it? Nope, haven't gotten there yet. They're still doing depositions and everything else. Oh, there's all kinds of stuff you can read here. And then on May 30th, of 2024 at 5:07 p.m., Trump was found guilty of all 34 counts, making him the first president to be convicted of a felony. May 30th, 2024. Investigation opens in 2018. Alvin Bragg gets elected in 2021. The conviction happens in 2024. 6 years they were going after President Trump with everything they possibly had. One singular focus. Let's take down President Trump. And it took them 6 years. 6 years. Pam Bondi's been on the job about, 5.5 months. Dan Bongino, shorter period of time. And Kash Patel, I don't know, somewhere about 5 himself. 6 years. Under 6 months. And yet you have people out there saying, but nothing's happening. Oh my God. This isn't a microwave, people. This isn't like, hey, can we insert the crime and have it cooked and be done in the next 5 or 10 minutes? It doesn't work that way. And because of that, people are using your confirmation bias and exploiting you. Nothing's happening. Everybody can do a search. Everybody can see what is on social media. And when they see this stuff on social media and they do the metrics and the data, they can say, you know what? There's a lot of people pissed off that nothing's happened yet in the last 5 months. And so I know if I stir this pot and jump onto their new confirmation bias that wasn't there in October and November, guess what? I can make a whole bunch of money on clicks because they're all pissed off. Even though I don't have any clue what the hell I'm talking about because I don't work for the Department of Justice, the FBI, or the Trump administration. And that's what's happening. And it's happening over, and over. And people, to this day, are letting that happen. Let me talk to you about something real quick here, and then we are going to take some comments. But I wanted to show people that because I wanted you to see specifically how crazy this all sounds. And if you don't know what confirmation bias is, you may not realize that you're a part of it. They're exploiting you. And what this show today is about is don't allow yourself to be exploited because the person you voted for in November is still doing what he said he was going to do when you voted for him. It's everybody else who's doing all this and attacking from all sides. And so when I had posted earlier, I actually meant this. I posted 2 things. I said 6 months in, and people haven't learned, or have they forgot? And guess who hasn't? Guess who's rolling up his sleeves and still going to work every single day on our behalf? Not the influencers, President Trump. And then I also had posted this, because this is a big part of where we're heading after the break. Trump is controlling the media, not the other way around. They've lost the narrative. He is controlling the media. Nuclear subs towards Russia. That's what we were told, right? Why would you do that? What happens when, Russia now becomes the adversary instead of Trump being Putin's puppet? Let's see. Firing the crooked labor moron, meaning the person who put up the labor statistics. They found out she was cooking the books. They can prove that she was cooking the books. And yet now the media is freaking out because she got fired. Interesting. Federal Reserve opening. Hey, why do you fire Jerome Powell? Because I exposed him as being a moron. I'm going to talk to you more about that when we get going into top 10 things. Not top 10, but 10 things. And then Pam Bondi going after judges, eh? Oh, she's not doing anything. Don't be a confirmation bias distorter. The ultimate person that you had confidence in, who you had confirmed bias with, was with President Trump. It wasn't with Candace Owens, wasn't with Tucker, wasn't with me, not with Benny Johnson, not with Patrick Bet-David, not with fill-in name. Who you stood behind in November was President Trump. And you're telling me in less than, checking the calendar, less than 7 months, they found daylight. People often comment how I keep up with coverage of President Trump. Trust me, it's not easy. I get good sleep. I have a very encouraging and supportive wife. I've been working out again. And I've been eating right. That's probably the best thing. Eat right and exercise. I also take a couple of supplements that have really helped me and helped my energy. Let me tell you about one of them right now. Have you ever wondered what happened to the legendary Chuck Norris? I recently saw a video he made, and I was shocked. He's in his 80s and still kicking butt and working out and staying active. What's even more shocking is he's stronger, can work out longer, and even has plenty of energy left over for his grandkids. And I've got grandkids, so that appealed to me. He did this by just making one change. He says he still feels like he's in his 50s. His wife even started doing this one thing too, and she's never felt better. She says she feels 10 years younger, her body looks leaner, and she has energy all day. Chuck made a special video that explains everything. Make sure you watch it by going to chuckdefense.com/Barry. You can see it on the screen right there. chuckdefense.com/Barry, or by clicking the link below in this video. Trust me, it will change the way you think about your health. Once again, that's chuckdefense.com/Barry, and click on the link in the description below to watch the video right now. Trust me, it's 100% free to watch the video. No charge whatsoever, a couple minutes of your time. You won't believe how simple it is. Watch this method by clicking the link in the description box below. chuckdefense.com/Barry. And just a reminder, the legendary Chuck Norris is a whopping 84 years old. He's even older than Donald Trump. And yet, he has more energy than most people. I mean, that's awesome. He discovered he could create dramatic changes to his health simply focusing on 3 things that sabotage our body as we age. All right, so go to chuckdefense.com/Barry and check out that video. All right, so before we continue into the 10 things I think Trump needs to do or why he needs to do them, let me take a couple of comments here. You're forgetting Pam let the head of the NBI. You're forgetting that Pam let the head of the New York FBI retire with full pension and benefits after hiding 2,000 Epstein files from her. No, I'm not forgetting. What you're forgetting. What you are forgetting. And that's a perfect example, Jeremy. You're forgetting that somehow something Pam did with the Epsteinian case before she became AG, President Trump hired her and said, yeah, you're the person I want. So the person you voted for knew what you just posted, and he still brought her in. So what are you saying? Trump made a mistake? I'm not saying he walks on water, but again, that question wasn't being asked of him. Hey, listen, you better make sure you bring in the right attorney general and that it's not Pam Bondi. Said nobody ever. Yeah, that is a perfect example of what has happened in 7 months. Thank you. That's exactly what I'm talking about. Let's see what else we got here. My confirmation bias is 100% with POTUS. It won't change unless he proves him wrong. Exactly. I don't understand why 7 months in, we're looking at this and going, hey, there's so many things going wrong when so many things are actually right. All the stuff that people perceive to be going wrong, they know nothing about. I want you to dwell on that for a little bit. If you think something is going wrong, number one, where'd you get the information from? Number two, what did President Trump say about it? I know there's one thing right off the top of the bat. People are like, John Thune went on recess, and Trump can't do his recess appointments. That's something wrong. But you don't know why. And so the influence crowd has made you doubt that this is why things have happened. You don't know. In fact, I'm pretty sure, do I have this? Let's see here. Yeah, I do have this. Let me show you this, because this is going to destroy some confirmation bias from some people. And what are you going to say about it? Because everybody's saying John Thune did this. Well, President Trump, where'd it go? Where's my thing here? It's a different number here because I deleted something. Where is it? Okay, here it is. A great job is being done by leader John Thune and Speaker Mike Johnson. Thank you both. The great big beautiful bill will go down as one of the most consequential pieces of legislation in the history of our country. And if you look at the timestamp, that's yesterday. Yesterday, after John Thune didn't allow for recess appointments. So like you, I was like, what the hell? Oh, and I posted, John Thune screwed President Trump. And then later on, I'm like, ooh, Trump's okay with it. Back off. No more talk about it. Let it go. he didn't, he doesn't hold back when he's pissed off about something. He's okay with it, so why is everybody else talking about it? Let the man cook. Let him cook. He's who knows what behind the door number 1 and door number 2, what was going on. We don't know. Nobody knows. And so it's kind of hard to pass judgment on it. Ask Rasmussen, polls dropping like a rock with independents. Benny had him on earlier this week. You get polled? Or did you look at another poll that says his numbers are way up? Nobody knows. I don't trust any polling right now because, well, actually I do trust one polling. I trust what happens when I go to the gas station, when I go to the grocery store, when I go to a restaurant, when I go shopping. Ashley and Robin took the girls Christmas back to school shopping in the mall the other day when they were here. Like crazy, absolute crazy town. That's a poll I want to see. That's what I want to see. So it's a different kind of polling people have to take. And I'm not here to convince you because you are basically saying your confirmation bias has been distorted. If you're not a troll and you actually voted for President Trump, why do you care what some independents say? It's 6 months into his presidency. What the hell do I care what some poll says 2026 or 2028 are going to be all about? Right now is where we need to be focused and what we need to be doing. But people don't do that. They're like, well, this guy said this and this guy said that. What did Trump say? What is your life like? So if you're having a problem in your life at this point and you think to yourself, you know what? Maybe I wrote it for the wrong guy. That's one thing. But if you're basing your information on what other people are telling you, then that's the problem with confirmation bias and how easy it is for people to distort it. You know, those same polls that said President Trump was going to lose the election. I think polling is the ultimate of confirmation bias distortion. Or confirmation bias, depending on which way somebody wants to lean at that point. But it's fun, but I don't put any credence in it. So let me get into today's show. And well, we're halfway, 30 minutes in. So I want you to hear this. I've got 10 things that I think Trump needs, 10 things that indicate why Trump should put the hammer down. Let's look at this, and we'll go through it.
Number 10.
All warfare is based on deception. Life often requires presenting things differently than they appear, whether in negotiations or everyday challenges. Showing your hand too soon can lead to failure. Control the narrative and use strategy to stay one step ahead. Truth, when paired with discretion, is a powerful weapon.
That was rule number 4 of the Principles of the Art of War from Sun Tzu. Those of you who have dug into President Trump know he's a strong student and advocate for the art of war by Sun Tzu. All his life, not when he decided to run for president, all the way back when he's a real estate developer, he was into Sun Tzu. And one of the tenets of that is deception is an awesome weapon. You need to be controlling the narrative. And when I showed you that tweet, that's exactly what I was talking about. They're writing based upon what he does. They're reactive. He is the one who's initiating. He is controlling the narrative, whichever way he wants to do so. With deception, with truth, with a little bit of both sprinkled in, keeping people on their toes. What's he going to do here? Is he going to fire Jerome Powell? Is he going to launch this? Is he going to launch that? And the one thing that should make you feel completely comfortable is how you never know what he's going to do is dial it back a month or so when the people in Iran didn't even see it coming. Blah, 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 playing golf, doing press conferences, boom. Boom, boom, boom. Bye. Nobody knew. The art of deception is something he's always done. I did an entire show and I went through all of the principles of Sun Tzu and pointed out through his business life how he's used these principles. And that one there is a biggie. An absolute massive one. Be completely deceptive, control the narrative, make sure people can't discern what it is you're going to do, and then you strike. And I'm like, hey, I'm going to punch you in the nose. Okay, right now I'm going to punch you in the no. If I'm going to punch you in the nose, I don't want you to know I'm about to punch you in the nose. Otherwise, it's completely ineffective. You block it. Oh, hey, you're about to hit me in the nose. So, by telegraphing, I'm sending nuclear subs out towards Russia. If you plan on using nuclear subs, would you tell Russia that you're sending nuclear subs out there? Would you mention it in the press? Or would you just send them? Oh yeah, I didn't think about that. Everybody talked about it. Oh, there's nuclear subs going off to Russia. Trump said he said, and nobody stopped and said, wait a second. You don't tell the people what you're doing. More than likely, if he was going to do it, they would already been parked off the coast. And people don't realize this man is making moves. I don't like to call it 3D chess or 4D chess. I just like to call it the art of war. He knows how to use deception. So right now, everybody's pissed off. We're not going to be able to do recess appointments. What if he didn't want the recess appointments? What if I need you to confirm these 4 or 5 people before you go? I really need these people. You did see that, right? And so I confirmed a couple people that I needed. When you guys come back, let's go ahead and change the rules. Let's say the rules, we don't need to do recess appointments. I don't know. But what I do know is he knows. What I do know is he didn't come out blasting John Thune and Mike Johnson. Like, hey, they're doing a great job. Yeah. Could that be deception? Absolutely. But that's the point. You don't know. And because you don't know, you have to wonder, and it also makes him quite scary. And it also, you should understand that people you're listening to don't know either. I'm not going to tell you this is what's happening because I don't know. I want you to focus on what it is you don't know. Hey, listen, okay, so he's making moves, he's doing things behind the scenes, and what you think is real may not be real. That's what I want you to focus on. That'll keep you very level. You won't get into all the weeds with everybody. Blah, 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 blah. Just see what he's doing.
Number 9.
I'm told that we're going to vote on one nominee every 2 hours for the next, I don't know, 10 hours, which is fine. If that's the way everybody wants to. I'm not going anywhere. That's my job. But it's so pointless. Anyway, that's where we are. That's why I call it organized grab ass.
Are you comfortable with the firing of the BLS commissioner?
I don't know enough about it. I mean, I know what some people have written about it, but I don't know what the facts are.
A sitting senator said, number one, hey, we're going to be voting on people every couple hours. Well, wait a minute. I thought they were going to go on recess. No, we voted and we confirmed a whole bunch of people. Janine Pirro, Judge Janine, a couple other people that are integral cogs in the Trump machine. Those people got approved, confirmed. How? Why them? And then he talks about the BLS person getting fired. You know what? I don't know nothing about it. So if a senator in the United States government is telling you about this Bureau of Labor Statistics, BLS, person who got canned, if he doesn't know, how in the hell do any people on X know? You gotta, your only real source, your only true one real source is the White House, whether it be Stephen Miller or Donald Trump or Scott Bessent. Everybody else is just watching the same movie.
The president said when he did it that more stuff is going to come out. I don't know what, if anything, he's talking about. But before I draw conclusions, I have learned around this place that you need to wait a little bit and hear the rest of the story.
Do you have a sense of what Democrats are demanding? Because it sounds like they are negotiating or at least talking to leaders.
All right. So this is very interesting here. Talk about laying a bear trap. Bam. I'm not sure if you know what Chuck Schumer did. And he got himself in some trouble here. So Trump posted this about Chucky Boy. And again, so he's vocal about this. He's pissed off about it. So here it is. The Democrats are extortionists who almost destroyed our country. Now we are back, and the USA is the hottest country anywhere in the world. Make America great again. The Democrats are extortionists. Why would President Trump say that? Well, let John tell you.
Understanding, and this is secondhand, so it may be unfair, but I'm hearing it from credible sources, is that the president is negotiating directly with Senator Schumer, and that Senator Schumer is demanding money now that only the president can provide. Now, what it is, how much it is, what it's for. I'm not saying money for him personally.
Yeah.
I mean money, not, and I didn't mean to imply that. Money for whatever. I don't know whether it's the budget or money to be released to universities or what the terms are. But that's what my understanding, and that the president has said no so far.
What's your guess?
So Chuck Schumer decides, hey, I'll give you your appointees. Yeah, but before I give you your appointees, and I understand, I can't confirm, I want $1 billion appropriated for this, and everything. And Trump's like, what? Did you just come to my office and tell me you want to extort me? That you want me to give you $1 billion in exchange for some votes? You don't know me very well, Chucky. We're both from New York, but I guess you don't know me because you would know as soon as I get back to my desk. I'm going to let everybody know. The Democrats are extortionists, which, again, it sets the narrative. It's Rule 4 of Sun Tzu. Control the narrative. Now what are people talking about? They're talking about that Chuck Schumer tried to buy his way some favor. Give me a couple billion for my pet projects, and I'll make sure you get your votes. And Trump told him to go pound sand. How about no? You get nothing, sir. And Senator Kennedy's trying to be nice and go, I don't really know what Schumer was thinking, but you went in and tried to strong-arm Donald Trump? You lost your ever-loving mind. Wow.
If you just had to make a guess how long you guys stayed here for?
I don't know. If you'd asked me yesterday, I would have said we were coming together, and maybe we'll have everybody will have a Pauline conversion, and we'll reach agreement today. But my advice, for what it's worth, to Senator Thune is to just whip us until we can't be whipped anymore. If everybody wants to play this game, then make it as painful as he can for both sides until they just cry like a baby and say, we'll do whatever you want. We'll stand on one leg and bark like a dog if you tell us, but don't make us do this anymore. But and maybe he took my advice, because we would normally start voting at 11. Now we're starting at 10, and to do one every 2 hours. It's going to occupy our time a little bit, but it's a waste of time. That's the point I'm trying to make. I don't mind doing it. This is my job. I'll stay here until the second coming, if that's what they want. But it's just a waste of time. If we're going to stay here, let's work on something meaningful.
Would you advise the president to accept anything less than the full executive calendar?
I don't know. I don't want to comment on it because I don't know what they're talking back and forth about. I've only done.
So again, just bring it to your point. Senator Kennedy, been there for quite some time. I'd say quite influential. But I don't even know what the hell's going on. So who does? Well, obviously Trump, obviously Thune, and obviously Mike Johnson. And they're keeping that information very tight. Why are they doing this? It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make sense to you. How the hell does it make sense to people on YouTube? How does it make sense to people on X who aren't involved in this? There is a playbook being executed that very, very few people know. And very few people know why. What's the objective? Now, I've mentioned to you before, having played football, that many times a head coach will call XYZ play, and those of us in the huddle like, that's not going to work. But we're not understanding is he wants to see what happens on that play so that he can tell the people upstairs, hey, check this out, watch this linebacker, see how they respond, see how they make it, what are they going to do in coverage. And then once they see how they react, they wait, maybe 4 or 5 plays later, they come back and run it based upon what the information and feedback they got from upstairs. And I just think this is an ultimate head coach type thing we're seeing here. My only way to look at this is that we're watching a maestro do what he wants to do, when he wants to do it, how he wants to do it. And so many people right now are saying, I got an opinion on this, when they should just take a November 6th mentality. President Trump's got this. That's what we all thought. That's what you thought. In 6 months, you got everybody saying all kinds of different things. Why? What has made you feel, and this is a big question, what has made you feel that something's gone wrong in the last 6 months? I look at what he said he was going to do. I've showed you his 20 pillars of what he was going to execute. He's dead on. And so who and what has made you think in the last 6 months, oh, it's just not where it should be? I can tell you who. If you're honest with yourself, you'll know who. It's influencers. Influencers are the ones who are trying to influence you. People like Senator Kennedy, he may have an opinion, but at the end, he's proud enough to say, I don't know what they're doing. And so maybe that's what you should look at and say to yourself, I don't really know what they're doing. But I voted for the guy, so I'm just going to ride with him.
If what Schumer's asking for is reasonable, I would be inclined to accept it. But I don't know, A, the terms, and B, where their heads are.
The reason I included that is because I put more credence in Senator Kennedy than people on YouTube and on X. And if he's openly telling people, I don't know what the hell's going on. I'm here. Call me. I'll work. If you want me to stay here, I'll stay here. But I don't know what y'all got planned. To me, that's excellence. To me, having people confused is the best way to be running things right now. Except my objective at this point is to tell you, chill. Just chill. Watch the movie. Get your popcorn and see what happens. But at the same token, the 10 things that President Trump, I feel, needs to do are based upon this. This is why the hammer needs to come out. And some of that hammering, which I think will happen, is against some of these people running their damn mouths. I think some of them are going to be found out as frauds, and people are going to be like, oh my goodness, this person had no idea what the hell they were talking about. Nope, none whatsoever.
The impeachment inquiry is underway, sparked by a complaint from someone within the...
Do you know who that woman was? I had to go way back and find this. Yeah, let me put her face back. Rewind a little bit and get her face back. Okay. This is Margaret Brennan. Margaret Brennan, who has a Sunday morning talk show on CBS. And she's sitting with a bunch of guys, John Brennan and some other spooks, and listen to what they say in case you wonder about her confirmation bias.
Sparked by a complaint from someone within the intelligence community. It feeds the president's concern and often used term about a deep state being there to take him out.
Thank God for the deep state.
As you point out.
Okay. Now we know what you're all about. Thank God for the deep state. Yeah, it's get the right grip, because hammer time is coming. I intend on obliterating the deep state. Thank God for the deep state? Just the opposite. Americans don't want this so-called deep state, of which the media is a part of it. And here it furthers with John Brennan going on MSNBC trying to save his butt.
Marco Rubio, who, he's a different person now, quite frankly. I think when he was in the Intelligence Committee, I think he really tried to carry out national security responsibilities in a very appropriate manner and tried to not just, bring politics into it. Again, I think that SSCI report, the Mueller investigation, the Durham investigation and review, all of this, I think, again, validates what happened in terms of Russian interference, the conclusions of that assessment, that Russia tried to interfere to enhance Donald Trump's prospects in that election, to damage Hillary Clinton, and to undermine the integrity of our election process. Those have really stood up and have been validated and supported by subsequent reviews very thoroughly.
So what you're watching, by the way, if I had to define it for you so you can understand what you're watching the extension of statute of limitations. You're watching specifically how they're extending the time because of the ongoing nature of the conspiracy. Every single time that John Brennan goes on television and opens his mouth and says, oh, there really was, thank you, John, you just extended things by another, up to the current day. You're just going to make it easy at this point. Why is he doing it? Because he's trying to curry favor. He's trying to play his trial out in public. He didn't have a gag order. I'm going to go out there and tell everybody who watches MSNBC, I was perfect. There was no hoax. It was true. Really? Really, John?
Reviews. So again, this is something that I think is made up out of, unfortunately, whole cloth, and they're just trying to see what they're able to get to stick to the media wall, and how some of these outlets are now taking this, and especially John Ratcliffe's comments that he had on X and the other things. They're so inconsistent with the CIA note. He's making these allegations that just have no evidentiary basis whatsoever. And again, I think it's beneath the dignity of a CIA director to do things like that.
He's talking about dignity. Seriously, bro, the dignity. And as more of this stuff comes out, and it continues to come out, bam, hammer time, got to play whack-a-mole with these people. Bring it on, Trump.
7. I think that there is a lot to investigate, and I'm personally very grateful that somebody of the stature of Robert Mueller would be there conducting this investigation. He's a totally straight arrow guy. I mean, if it's there, it's there. If it's not, it's not. And I really believe that he will be honest and transparent and tell us whatever it is he finds. But as I say in the book, and I try to explain what bothers me, there's just too many connections to be called just coincidences. There just are. And, some of it is financial entanglements, and some of it is hunting for, negative information about me, and some of it is calling, people.
This is a pathological liar being exposed. Now you're looking, many of you really knew before, she can go on television, look you at a straight face, smile, and lie to you and cut your throat at the same time. And these people on The View had to have had some inclination, because there's nothing she's saying. Not a word that she's saying can she prove. She's just out there saying it, and they're all nodding and parroting it for the last 8 years. 8 years. That's why I wanted you to see 2017. Have you been saying this stuff for 8 years? For 8 years. And none of them have called her on it. And she just keeps saying it and saying it and saying it. You want to know what sometimes that Pam Bondi and some of these people might be doing? How many public appearances did Hillary Clinton do in the last 8 years saying all this stuff? 8 years. And then, okay, what did she say here? What did she say there? Who else allowed her to be on the air? MSNBC. We're going to pull Whoopi in. We're going to pull in Joy Behar. They're going to ask all these people questions. It's just a matter of when. It's too voluminous.
And trying to hide the connections and the meetings and the calls and all of that. All of that has gone on. Now, there's a lot of smoke, and whether or not there's fire, we need to figure it out. But here is what's important. Put the investigation into Trump, his associates, and everybody else to one side. There is no denying that the Russians interfered in the election.
Right.
None. There is no denying. Well, if there's no denying in 2017, how come everybody is now trying to spin and say, oh, there was interference, they just didn't change any votes? Completely different narrative. It's not working because all these old tapes are out there. And everybody has seen them. Most people have seen them. And I'll go to that 17th letter stuff. A lot of people have seen these things. And we've just been waiting. Some of us impatiently, and some of us just waiting. Is this ever going to happen? And many people who were involved back in the day have seen all this. One of the things somebody asked me the other day, and they were like, Barry, so-and-so said this, and so-and-so said that. And I said, you ever go to someone's, let's say, their X profile, like even on mine, you could go to my X profile, and I want you to start doing something. When you start reading something from somebody, anybody, and I do mean anybody, I want you to look at something like this. I want you to go to their home profile, and I want you to look when they started. 2013. This is Nick Sortor. He's been around a long time. You can't fake that. You can't just choose a date. 2013. So he's been in it for 12 years. My own thing, if you were to look at me, mine says 2008. I've been on X, formerly Twitter, for 17 years. I know it's a long-ass time. Like, Barry, I've had to change and reincarnate myself, but 2008. What I want you to do is begin, and this is a little bit of information, begin looking at some of the people that you take information from. And you see join date. When did they join? If you start seeing things like 2022, 2023, 2024, you have to wonder, hey, where were you in 2016 and 2017? You weren't even here. How are you all of a sudden authoritative about this? Now understand, people could have been book smart. Maybe that's what they were doing. Maybe they were in it. I don't know. But if you weren't a part of what was going on, when it was going on, how are you speaking to people about what's happening? There ain't no way in hell you could go through all the volumes of stuff that some of us had been looking at all the way back in 2015 and 2016 and understand everything that's going on right now. Who were the players, what they were doing. And I'm not saying that, I'm not patting myself on the back. I wish I didn't spend so much time in it. But contrary to that, just watch, just look at some of the people. And there's another thing you can do. You can do a search on advanced search on Twitter and see how far back they were talking about President Trump or Michael Flynn or Paul Manafort. Do that. Give yourself some homework tonight and go, you know what? I don't see much from these people. Now, confession, maybe some people, because of their job, and that's probably how I didn't get caught or anything, is that you can do certain things just like you can hide videos, but you can't hide your born on date. I don't know if you knew that, because that's important.
Whether or not they had willing or unwitting help from the Trump team, they interfered, and they did so to help him and hurt me. And they did so to destabilize our democracy, and they have not stopped.
What's not clear from your book is whether you think that the Trump campaign was colluding in this.
We don't know the answer to that. That is part of what is being explored. There are some serious questions, because what happened when the emails of my campaign manager, John Podesta, were stolen by the Russian intelligence services. Then they were conveyed to WikiLeaks, which is basically now a mouthpiece for Russia authoritarianism. And then
so smooth, just comes off her tongue. And then notice he hasn't made an appearance yet. Where's Julian Assange? Do you guys know who Julian Assange is? Do you understand what she's talking about? When she's talking about the WikiLeaks and all the stuff that happened. Did you know what WikiLeaks is? Man, there is so much stuff that most people today don't even talk about. So unless you have these videos that are 7 or 8 years old, you're like, number one, who's Julian Assange? Number two, what in the hell is WikiLeaks and what happened with WikiLeaks? This is the kind of stuff that I think Trump has ammunition with, and I think this is going to basically begin causing the big hammer to be swung. The media is not talking about Julian Assange. Media's not talking about WikiLeaks. You know why? Because they all up in it. Man, this is deep.
They were released on the very same day that the Hollywood Access tape came out showing Trump, bragging about sexual assault. Then they were what we call weaponized, so that they were turned into phony news stories, they were turned into Facebook posts, and then they were targeted at specific voters. The question is, where did the Russians get that kind of targeting information? And, that is one of the unanswered questions that investigators in Congress and the special counsel are looking into.
I had that targeting information. You see, unless you were involved in digital marketing, you didn't realize all the information that was out there. I built a page of 1 million people. It was a Trump page very quickly on Facebook before they told me go away. 1 million subscribers, followers, whatever you want to call them on Facebook. I had 1 million of them because I was able to use the same exact data that she thinks Russia did. It was so easy. I could get in and say, listen, give me everybody who follows Donald Trump, who lives in this zip code, and who's this age group, and send them this piece of content. I was spending, for clients and others, upwards of $80,000 a day. The targeting that you could do without people knowing it was insane. And nobody knew it. They knew, like, hey, I looked up a sweater. I looked up a sweater online, and now there's an ad for a sweater on my phone. How did that happen? I was talking to my wife, and I said I was looking for Kentucky Fried Chicken, and all of a sudden an ad for Kentucky Fried Chicken would show up, and people didn't know. And then Brad from Cambridge Analytics, which is what Trump used, if you want to go look at some stuff that Brad was doing through Cambridge Analytics, that'll blow your mind. They even did 60 Minutes even came out and said, how did you do this? The targeting was there. It wasn't Russian interference. It was Facebook and Mark Zuckerberg selling your information to the highest bidder. It was so easy, anybody could do it. You get a credit card and you know what to ask for, it was going to serve it up. I'm like, hey, I want to know all the women over 25 who have shopped at Target in the last 30 days and have used a credit card, are married, have kids, and are Trump supporters. Okay, let me send them some stuff. It was the wild, wild west of marketing. I could find out anything about you down to your street. I could draw a circle around your street and say, show everybody who lives on Main Street this ad. But don't show it to the people on Elm. Show them this. Oh, by the way, and show the black people this and Hispanic. Now, the people are like, well, Barry, you couldn't segment by races. Do me a favor. Show all the ads for people who like Steve Harvey and the Breakfast Club this ad. Who do you think's watching that stuff? Oh, yeah, the blacks. Over here, I want to put on, Hector Torres and Telemundo. Oh, that's probably going to be Spanish people for the most part. It was the wild, wild west. They, in trying to make it seem like something else, started telling everybody, oh, they were running all kinds of ads. We all ran ads. How do you think anybody made money during that period of time? It was literally the wild, wild west. Trump runs into this guy who happens to be a brainiac who understands targeting, and like she's making it sound like, hey man, how do you think they got that targeting? Same way you did. We had credit cards and access to the back end of Facebook, and we ran ads. I ran ads for pizzas, I ran ads for cars, I ran ads for art supplies, and I ran ads for Trump supporters, and I even ran ads to Hillary supporters. Because since they fed on engagement, I was like, hey, show the Hillary supporters this and show the Trump supporters this and let them come in and fight it out. It was a gold mine. I mean, absolute gold rush. But you didn't know that if you weren't in the back end of Facebook, and she pretended like she didn't know. Hey, how are the Russians getting this targeting information? Duh.
The Russian government has engaged in espionage against Americans. They have hacked American websites, American accounts of private people, of institutions. Then they have given that information to WikiLeaks for the purpose of putting it on the internet. This has come from the highest levels of the Russian government, clearly from Putin himself, in an effort, as 17 of our intelligence agencies have confirmed, to
and there's a big bear trap. Ba-bam. By her saying that, she's acknowledging her own opposition research with the Steele dossier and then trying to cover it up. Oh, the 17. And Trump's people are sitting back going, okay, here's another instance of her doing it. Here's another one. Oh, she just keeps running her damn mouth.
Influence our election. So I actually think the most important question of this evening, Chris, is finally, will Donald Trump admit and condemn that the Russians are doing this and make it clear that he will not have the help of Putin in this election, that he rejects Russian espionage against Americans, which he actually encouraged in the past. Those are the questions we need answered. We've never had anything like this happen in any of our elections before.
I mean, if you're going to let Russia get away.
It's funny. You've seen a part in The Godfather where Michael's walking with Kate and he's like, we're going to go legit. And she's like, politicians don't have people killed. Who's being naive? Rachel R. says, there are choices on your cell phone to stop all that spying. Look it up. Guess what? I can target those people. Show me a list of women between 25 and 40 who have used, ad blockers. Okay, here's a gazillion of them. I only say that not to give Rachel a hard time, but to let you know there is no privacy. I mean, seriously, it may sound bad to most people. Oh, they're not going to track you here or track you there. You have a television. You have a television in your house that plugs into a box. And in that box or outlet, that wire goes in there, right? Yeah. What's in that wire? Well, it sends a signal as to what channel I want to watch and when. Who else gets that information? Huh? Well, how do you think they know who to advertise to in the digital age? Hey, show me who's watching Hannah prove it to you. Girls were here this past week, and they're like, we want to watch Hannah Montana. I'm like, no, I can't do it. I can't. I just can't. I mean, just give them the Disney Plus thing. So they're gone. Guess what ads we're getting? Oh my goodness, here's by Hasbro. I got an ad on a kid. Wow. Oh, that's right. They were here watching their shows. Hey, let's watch Hannah Montana and Joe's this and that. Even on the YouTube channel, I'm getting so many ads for kids stuff because we were consuming kids shows. There is no privacy, even if you decide you're not going to have ads or you're going to use ad blockers. I can still get through and send you ads if a person knows what they're doing, and most of the big advertisers have people who know how to do it. Did you know when you go to a car wash and you're out the car and they're waxing everything, some car washes, I had a client that would go in and check what your reserve stations were so they knew what kind of music you listened to. okay, their number 1 preset, oh, that's that station, number 2 preset, number 3, and they would know, and they would use that information. They could sell it to people. Hey, this is a digital age. It may be the golden age, but it's a digital age.
With what they did and are still doing, according to Christopher Wray, the current FBI director, who said that last week, they're in our election systems. We're worried about 2020, he said. So, hey, let's have a great power contest and let's get the Chinese in on the side of somebody else. Why are, other Americans basically believing Putin? Why did Trump believe Putin more than our 11 intelligence agencies?
I don't know. Do you have a working theory?
I do have a working theory.
I have a working theory because you guys are idiots. Again, MSNBC, and they're all smiling around Hillary. Do you want you? Number 1, who said he believes them more? Number 2, why don't you do your own research? You're on MSNBC. You're a host. You're a big, network supposedly that wasn't being funded by USAID back then. Winkety wink. And you got Hillary on here, somebody who you know specifically is of suspect character. If Hillary came to your house, you'd probably lock up the kids. You'd lock up the guns. You stay right there, okay? I don't want you any further in my house. Don't touch anything. In fact, here's some paper cups for you to drink out of. But they were all chummy with her, knowing her suspect character. And so again, you have to put yourself back in the perspective of Pam Bondi, Cash, and Dan, and there's so much stuff to look at. You've been there 5 months. The Alvin Bragg thing went on for years, and people right now are like, oh, you're not moving fast enough. You better have every single duck in a row here. And so when President Trump brings that big hammer I'm talking about, and why it's nearly hammer time, it's because you got to shut this woman up. And we're waiting for him to do that.
And why is Donald Trump so enamored of Putin? Well, part of it is he's a wannabe dictator. He has told us that repeatedly. He even said the other day, let's basically get out of NATO and, encourage Putin to do what he wants to do. How absurd a statement that is cannot even be, measured, because you are essentially giving a green light to a murderous, brutal dictator.
Numbers.
Yes, she would just keep going on and on and on. And you as a lucid person who's beginning seeing all this stuff, those were all those clips were from years ago. And just imagine the voluminous amount of stuff that they have in terms of this grand conspiracy, because there was no if, there was no I think he's bad, there was no, maybe he could be bad. No, he's doing it. He's definitely doing it. And I got 17 intelligence agencies are all saying the same thing, and this and this and that. It was declaratory. And so she was furthering this entire conspiracy thing that they were doing. And it was disgusting. And again, it's not me saying it. You can actually see that she was saying it. All right, what do I got here? All right, let me talk to you about the Patriot Addict knife. Many of you guys have gotten it, and let's go ahead and talk about that real quick here. All right, let me talk to you guys about this knife here. Many of you have seen from Patriot Addict the Trump Red Knife. That's the Trump Red Knife right here. Good knife. A lot of people have gotten it and said they really like it. So they came out with a new product, and this new product is the Trump, there it is right there, the Trump Signature Blade. Pretty cool packaging, how they put this together. Knife is pretty much the same knife mechanically. It has all the same features, quick release and everything else that's got it. But the difference is it is painted differently. It's got 45, 47 on it. It's got flag. It's got a different aura to it. Most importantly, it's got a stencil on it where it's got President Trump's signature on the actual blade. And it's very, 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 very sharp. Sharper than the other one, I think. You can get this knife for free All you've got to do is go to the QR code right here and order it up, and you will get it. And it is a special just for the Fanfare community. Why are they doing it? Because you guys have been so good in helping them and helping this channel grow. They're offering this knife for free. Now the catch is, if there is a catch, is that you just have to pay for shipping. Shipping being about 14, 15 bucks or so. And that's it. No subscriptions, no ongoing fees, don't have to sign up for anything. Just go to the QR code right here and you can pick up this knife for just the cost of shipping. It regularly retails for 70 bucks, but that's all you do is pay the shipping and they'll get it out to you pretty quick. And I trust me, just from all the different people who have written about it, you're going to love it. You're going to love it. Thanks, guys from Patriot Addict, for helping out with the show. All right, so let's continue. And by the way, some people have emailed me and complain about some of the ads and stuff. It's what we do. And I went back and I studied Rush Limbaugh shows and I watched Glenn Beck shows and I understand how these shows run. I'm trying to keep on a different time frame so I know how far to space things out. But at the end of the day, it's a business. And Rush did it and he did well, and I'm just following the model, just moving forward. All right, so let's look at a couple comments before we continue. Mr. Trump, Dems will never buy him off. Yeah, to me it's amazing that they even tried. I find it odd that Chuck Schumer went to him and said, give me $1 billion so I can send it to some people and we'll give you your nominations. That was so stupid. You basically opened your kimono and showed yourself naked at that point going, that's it? That's what you got? Oh, Chucky. You got played. And I'm sure wherever they were, that was written down. The only collusion is Russia trying to inform us about Hillary's 30,000 emails, which is probably why they were exactly trying to cover it up. Let's see here. The look on Hillary's face is like she's gonna have a manic episode when everyone who dares her question the false narrative she is trying to conjure. But you realize they never questioned her. That was the odd part. Nobody dared question Hillary. Hillary, what happened in Haiti and all the Clinton Foundation, all the money for the kids? Where'd the kids go and where'd the money go? They won't even ask. They won't even ask. Talk about, everyone talking about Epstein. Not a single word about the Haitians. That's very interesting. Very interesting. Thank you, Anna Maria. That's greatly appreciated. Thank you. Not a single question. You can go ahead and do a search. There are different kind of databases. You can look it up and see if MSNBC or CNN or CBS, any of them, have you ever said anything about the missing kids in Haiti and the missing money in Haiti? Nope. Okay. That's why Trump needs to bring that hammer, that big hammer. Absolutely. I want to see under Chucky's kimono. No, you don't, bro. You don't want to see under there. Timing is everything. Mm-hmm. Nobody asked because there's a long list of bodies surrounding the Clintons. That alone should be an investigation. From all the different things that we've heard, we don't know, but the one that always got me was the guy who committed suicide by putting two in the back of his own head. I don't know how that works. All right, so let's continue so you guys aren't here all night on your Sunday.
Thanks. Let me tell you what I'm worried about now. Yeah. The ICE raids. People who have been detained, you're talking about taking an income away from a household. So
the income that the newcomer is making is taken away from the income that an American can be making. This to me is one of the biggest whack-a-moles out there. You got to fix California, President Trump. You got to take a big Thor hammer to California. They don't even understand what they're saying. Otherwise, she would never say that on television. Yeah, well, all these people, getting arrested, they're taking income away from their families. what about the families who are supposed to be working that you guys are out there letting the newcomers do it? I don't get it. You don't make any sense.
I've talked to some of the people who lost their spouses, their spouses were detained or whatever, and they're not sure how they're going to make the rent.
Right.
So we could have a whole new influx of homeless people because...
I can fix that one. Oh, I'm pretty sure Tom Homan can fix that homeless problem. That could be fixed and remedied very, very quickly. Oh, Karen, don't worry about that. You need to get rid of the homeless people that have, now can't afford to pay rent or buy groceries because they're not supposed to be here. I'm pretty sure a high schooler could fix that one for you. Yeah. 1-800-PICK-UP-JOSE. I mean, how about that? Can we do that? We'll work for you. I'll do it for free. Just tell me where they are, where the people are who can't pay their rent because they're scared to go outside and they've lost their job and they don't know how they're going to do it. I'll even help the landlords. Landlords, I should put up an ad in California and say, do you have somebody living there who's not supposed to be there? And now all of a sudden, they're not paying the rent either. They're not getting your cash money every month. Okay, let me know where it is, and we'll take care of your situation. You won't even have to go to an eviction court. In fact, I could probably have somebody there tomorrow. California is a wasteland at this point.
Because of policies like ICE, and what has happened over the years is politicians, and see, I can say that because I am one, politicians who pass policies don't think of the unintended consequences,
right.
And some of those policies put people on the street.
What do you mean unintended consequences? That's specifically what we're trying to intend to do. We're trying to get these people, off the streets, out the kitchens, off the jobs, and send them someplace else. That's not unintended consequences. That's intended consequences. She doesn't even, maybe she doesn't know who she's speaking to, and she doesn't realize they're going to put this stuff all over the internet. Because normal people are like, unintended. That's quite the intention.
Jeffries also vowed to unmask ICE agents across the board.
Every single ICE agent who's engaged in this aggressive overreach and are trying to hide their identities from the American people will be unsuccessful in doing that. This is America. This is not the Soviet Union. We're not behind the Iron Curtain. This is not the 1930s.
Nazis.
And every single one of them, no matter what it takes, no matter how long it takes, will of course be identified.
Okay, great. Hakeem, what about the people on the streets that are targeting them that are wearing masks? I mean, this is America. This isn't the 1860s Old West. Why are they wearing masks? For the same reason. They know they'll be caught by that government and prosecuted for doing illegal things. Hakeem Jeffries is not alone in this obsession. Here's a Vermont Democratic Congresswoman, Becky Ballint, with her take on the ICE officers wearing masks for their own protection.
They're acting more like vigilantes than of agents of our government. How can we even trust that these are government officials?
Oh, my God.
It's nothing more than kidnapping.
If anything has happened in the last 6 months, the complete exposure of the Democrat Party should make you very comfortable in what's going to be happening in future elections. Forget the polls. See, this is one of the reasons why I'm kind of pulling back from even talking to pollsters anymore, is that insanity underscores why your numbers don't make any sense. Who might be answering your polls? Because if you listen to these people, it's like, wait a second. You're not making any sense. None at all. None. And this desperation that they're showing on a daily basis, from AOC to Schumer to, what's the other one? The whole squad people. All they talk about is newcomers, and how we need to keep the newcomers. And I've yet to see any single one of them talk about you. None. I look every day. I watch the news all the time. Too much news. Show me one where they say, you know what? I'd like to help the people in Nebraska. These people in the Midwest, they need help. They need a hand up. I don't know, these people in northern Florida. Oh, these people in, Georgia. Anybody? No? Want to tell me about it? Nobody. So you tell me, as an independent, you're listening to this crap, and they're telling you specifically, you don't matter. You don't matter at all. I don't care. I don't care if your kids can't eat. I don't care if things happen to your daughters or your wives. That's not important. What's important is we need to keep these newcomers here. And you're telling me, Mr. Pollsters, that independents are like, oh, I can't vote for this Trump guy. He's trying to make things safe. He's trying to make us prosperous. You can't vote for that, huh? Okay.
What do you say? We can't even be sure if these are actually real ICE officers? Could they just be random dudes that enjoy getting shot at? They're like vigilantes, so go ahead and attack them. Are you out of your mind? I cannot take the stupidity anymore. I don't know how I show up for this job every day, because it obviously doesn't do jack squat.
I feel that way. I feel your pain, Glenn. I don't know why sometimes. I've even told Rob, I'm like, maybe we should just start doing real estate again. Because people aren't making any sense. When you sit back and just think to yourself, who's out there trying to help your life? It's going to be a very short list. I don't even know how many people in the Senate and Congress you'd put on that list. For me, there's one guy at the top I know who's trying to make my life better. I see it every single day. He's trying to make my life better. And he's trying to make Americans' lives better. Over and over and over. And all I see, the entirety of the left, not some, the entirety of the left, are people who could give a crap about Americans, and then I have people come on television or on X and tell me, oh, it doesn't look good in the midterms. Huh? How? Please show me these people so I can walk up to them and say, did you really vote in a poll that you're not sure you'll vote for Trump or Republicans? Did you really say that? Are you really upset? Oh, yeah, I'd like to vote for the people that don't give a shit about me. Yeah, that's where I want to go.
Game, because they're basically kidnappers. Are they? Now, the Los Angeles mayor, Karen Bass, was on the scene earlier this month trying to obstruct an ICE operation herself. Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson referred to ICE as, quote, secret police terrorizing our communities. If you believe that, why wouldn't you shoot these people? Do you see how this works?
Yeah, exactly. They are trying to drum stuff up. They want this riot, they want this explosion so badly, they are speaking it nonstop. And so the only message that Trump is combating is anarchy. So in your own corner of the world, whether you're working or whether you have your own business or whatever it is you do, your choice is anarchy. Your choice is socialism and communism. There's no other buses. It's MAGA or some side of Republican or socialism. There's no buses. What the hell are people talking about? This is a message I think Trump needs to keep going and pushing out there with the big hammer. Bam! It's hammer time. Let people know. What are you talking about? I would actually come out if I were him. Who are the hell are these people saying, they're not sure who they're going to vote for in 2026? You only got two choices. It may be different people, different names, but you got two ideological choices, and that's it. So it's up to you to get out there when you see people talking this stuff. Like, well, what else you got to do? Who else you got to vote for? The other guy? The other guy wants you dead. The other guy wants to take your stuff. The other guy wants to completely take your home and the real estate that surrounds it. Your business, your money. I look at this thing and go, there are some serious mental midgets on X. I hope none of you guys are them, but you need to begin calling these people out. No, I don't know what Trump's doing. Shut up. You're a mental midget. You don't have any other choices. Now, that's a bad situation. We all don't want to have our backs up against the wall going, this is it? But I didn't make that. They did. There's no one, there's not a single Democrat that says, you know what, I don't like Trump, but I don't like these people, so now I'm going to be like right here. Because the people who would say that are with Trump. RFK, Tulsi Gabbard, they're all over here. So when people say, you know, it doesn't look good for Trump, oh, the independents. No, these aren't independents you're talking to. There's not a single independent that looks at this and goes, you know what? I'd like to pay 30, 40% more taxes, and I would like to, you know, to let as many people in the country as possible and not be able to, you know, leave my door open. No, it doesn't. That person doesn't exist. That's the reason I'm having a problem with certain pollsters. Like, it can't possibly exist unless they're stupid, which, of course, is a possibility.
Go further toward the Vienna model. We'll have to go beyond the market. We can establish.
Speaking of what's coming, before I get too further into this dude, Trump needs to take that hammer and beat the hell out of New York. This guy is undoubtedly, unless something happens, going to be the next mayor of New York City. The biggest city in the country is about to be governed by a commie. How? And many of you, like me, I don't care, I don't live there, good luck. But the shining apple of America is not going to be a communist stronghold? Can you imagine what this is going to look like a year from now? Go look at Minnesota. Look at Portland. Look at some of these places. This is one where I think Trump needs to get two hammers. He needs either that or just put a big old wall around Manhattan and let the rest of the New York state live happily ever after, because this ain't looking good. I love New York. I've spent so much time in New York. I mean, there's a picture, I'm blocking it, but me and Ashley and Robin back when she was in college shopping in New York. Love it. I won't go back there now, and I definitely won't go back there. Can you imagine Broadway? Who's going to want to go see Broadway plays in a communist haven? It is going to turn into the movie. It's going to be like Warriors and Escape from New York combined. Barry, you're being hyperbolic. No, I'm not. It's already getting bad. So you let this guy go in and take your property? And take your businesses? And indoctrinate your kids in school? Oh my goodness, what are you people thinking? Big hammer here.
Community land trusts to gradually buy up housing on the private market and convert it to community ownership. We can give tenants a right of first refusal to buy out their landlords when buildings go up for sale.
They're tenants! Having been in real estate for some time, that one just cracked me up. We're going to give tenants the first right of refusal to buy the buildings if they go up for sale. There's a reason why I'm a tenant. How are they going to buy a skyscraper? And he's sitting there smiling, and people are like, yeah, you're never going to buy it. He's telling people that we're going to give tenants first right of refusal. Well, I guess you shouldn't be a tenant then. You should be buying condos. It sounds so nice. You're gonna get a right of first refusal. You might be able to buy this thing. So you're telling me, if you have a condo in Trump Tower, and Donald Trump decides that he wants to sell the building, Like, hey, Donnie, yeah, how much is that penthouse up there? Oh, it's, $20 million. Okay, take a check. Where do you live? I thought you said you had to be a tenant. You can't live next door in a tenement. This is Trump Tower. This kid is so off his rocker, he doesn't even see straight, but you got people telling you that independents like this crap, huh?
We can fully commit to a new era of social housing, ending subsidies for luxury housing development and using our wealth to build beautiful, high-quality social...
Our wealth. You're a government. You are a city. You have no wealth. The people have wealth. We can use our wealth. No, what you meant to say was we're going to use your wealth because we're going to take it from you. There's not a city, a municipality in this country that, quote, has wealth. So all of a sudden, this city's going to turn wealthy with no money. How?
Housing projects that offer good homes and strong communities to everyone. We won't decommodify housing overnight, but we know what we have to do, and we have history to guide us.
Talking about what history? Cuba? What? Show me one city in the country that decommodified housing. See, the fact that housing is a commodity is one of the buzzwords of the left. They don't think you should own anything. You don't have the right to own a property, and if I burn it up, it's only property. Shouldn't matter. Huh? And independents are voting for this. Those of you who are independent and own a house, do you want your house or should we just take it? I mean, we can just file an eminent domain and take your house. And then we can tax you on your unrealized capital gains. And then, boot you out. We're going to decommodify it. You don't own that. Are people not listening? Or have they gone stupid? Because there's no way when I would sit down and talk to somebody, I went and talked to my liberal sisters in Connecticut when she was sick. I'm like, you understand what's going on, right? Oh, yeah, he's a good guy. He's for the people. You like this place? Yeah. What if you couldn't live here anymore? What do you mean? What if it's no longer yours? It's taken. They sell it until you got to pay. They don't even understand what they're watching. Oh, that sounds good. So they caught up with him here.
Police being racist or anti-LGBTQ, or that they should be defunded or dismantled. So this is a little bit of what Marcia asked, but as you've grown and reflected, and I feel, in fairness to you, you've been good about talking about growing and reflecting and always having conversations. Do you wish you hadn't said some of those things a few years back?
Okay, so I'm running for mayor. I know I'm a commie, and this reporter has given me a softball question. Go ahead and recant. Say that you didn't mean it. This is your opportunity. All these microphones up here. Bunch of white people. Tell them right now, you didn't mean what you said, right? They'll feel better about you. You got an opportunity. Oh, I didn't mean that. No, I didn't mean it. I'm not going to take your stuff.
My statements in 2020 were ones made amidst a frustration that many New Yorkers held at the murder of George Floyd and the inability to deliver on what Eric Adams, of all people, described as the right for all of us to be able to enjoy safety and justice, that we need not choose between the two.
Number. Oh, New York is so screwed. Oh, New York is so screwed. George Floyd? You're in New York. George Floyd, huh? Wow. Yeah, don't come at me with that independents don't like Trump stuff, okay? Because what you're telling me is you actually polled libs, maybe even commies. That's great. And don't tell me you got it from Twitter.
Or it's been clear. When we fight for democracy, when we protect democracy, we got to fight fire with fire. We're not going to stand idly by, as Maya said. We're not going to let them revert to Jim Crow. And if you don't think they want to revert to Jim Crow, just look what they did.
I've been black a long time. I've been hearing about Jim Crow for a long time. I never met Jim. Jim has never come to my house, never met my parents, never introduced himself to my sisters. None of my cousins knew Jim. But y'all been talking about Jim Crow since I could even hear and read. This monster called Jim Crow. What the hell are you people doing? You're living in a time warp. This is like the Rocky Horror Picture Show. This is the Rocky Horror Chucky show at this point. Oh, they're going to take you back to Jim Crow. Hey, Chucky, when was Jim Crow? Because nobody living at this point really understands what the hell you're talking about. I'm looking at this group of people here in the crowd. Jim Crow? Who's that? Is he the one sang the song Time in a Bottle? No, that's Jim Croce. Oh, well, who the hell is Jim Crow? Huh? Those people don't know. You're using an ancient relic to try and scare people, and the problem is nobody in that audience even knows who the hell Jim Crow is, where he came from, what he did. This is the problem with the left, is that they've been using these stereotypes and these tropes for so long, they don't realize it doesn't work anymore. These millennials and Gen X's and Gen Z, and who? Jim, what did Jim do? Did the white people kill Jim? This is 2025, and this is what this guy said a couple days ago.
In the SAVE Act, which went back to Jim Crow for the whole nation. By so making it hard, they said you need ID, and they made it so hard to show ID that probably half the people in America couldn't vote.
I gotta get that video of the black guy looking at a computer like a monkey. I know since I've been alive how long I've heard people, it makes it too hard to vote, they have to get an ID. I'm like, well, every single person I know has an ID. I don't know anybody who doesn't have an ID. Every single person I know got their ID when they were kids in high school, when we got driver's license. Even the old people got ID. Who the hell are these people with no ID? Oh, I know. Oh, that's right. Yeah, we now know who the people without ID are. It's not the blacks. It's not the Hispanics. It's the newcomers. Now we know definitively what they've been doing and how this has happened for decades. It wasn't the blacks. It never was the blacks. They tried to pretend like it was blacks and old people who couldn't get ID. And everybody, the whole time I'm like, Graham, you got one? Yeah, I got an ID. Oh, Auntie, you got an ID over there? Yeah. Oh, Auntie over here who's from Jamaica who can't really speak English that well, you got an ID? Yeah, man. ID, man. Okay. Everybody had the ID, man. You know why? Because even the people who didn't have IDs to begin with realized you couldn't make any money without an ID, and you couldn't take your ass anywhere. You couldn't get on a plane, you couldn't do anything. So everybody had the ID. And now, in 2025, the light bulbs are going off. Oh, that was because you were already importing newcomers. You were already stacking the deck in the voting registries with people who weren't from here. And you needed to protect them. Hey, they don't have IDs. They can't get IDs. And I used to think, who the hell can't get ID? And especially when I was 16 and I got one. I'm like, that was easy, Mom. Who are these people who can't get ID? Don't know. Auntie Daphne, she got hers. Yeah, man, got my ID, man. Yeah, you got ID? Yeah, man. Okay. She got hers. Who couldn't get ID? And here it is 2025, he's still pushing this crap.
We wouldn't let it pass. The Democrats, they needed our vote. They went to court. Many of us, Durbin, myself, and others, were lead plaintiffs, and we beat them in court. But it shows why we need legislation. Because these guys are undoing everything in every way they can. They don't want...
These guys are undoing everything every way they can. Oh, my goodness. Chucky, some of you people shouldn't do interviews, should not go in front of a microphone. You're undoing our network. You've taken our money, and now you're telling people they can't vote because they don't have IDs. We got to do something. Take to the streets, fight. I'm showing you this because this is something Trump can take a hammer to and continue to take a hammer to. And you're going to try to tell me that there are independents and some people on the right who are upset because they're Epsteiniacs, that they're okay with the fact that people who want to vote without IDs. Sorry, I might be an idiot. Maybe I should just turn the channel off and go devote 100% of my time to real estate, because I ain't buying it. And I'm hoping you're not buying it. I hope you continue not to buy it.
People to vote. They don't want people of color to vote. They don't want Democrats to vote. They don't.
When you're seeing this stuff, one of the reasons why I'm laughing and chuckling with this is because this is it. Again, I said to you, show me a video. I'd love for any of you to send me a video. Send me a link. Show me anything you want. Show me just an article where they're saying we're gonna help you Americans. I said send me a video. I forgot to show you guys this. Where is it? This is too funny. Too funny when I see this stuff. Where is she? I don't know what I did with the lady. Send me a video. All right. While Chuck's finishing, I'll find it. Okay.
Believe in democracy. We do.
Number 3.
Democracy. By the way, if you want to send me a video of yourself talking about anything, maybe you have found a video of some of these idiots talking about America. I'd love to see it. Go ahead to fanfareshop.org/submit video, and I'm getting the submissions, and I can start posting them as they come in. I think there's like 6 or 7 waiting to be downloaded, but I'd welcome for someone to go, Barry, you're wrong. Here's a video I found from 10 years ago where Democrats talking about doing something for regular Americans, because you probably have to go that far back. People with no IDs, black people, undoing democracy, kidnapping people off the street. Where we got too many homeless because newcomers can't go to work. You have the opportunity, you have a pulpit, and this is what you're talking about. And I got influencers telling me, we got to watch out for 2026. No.
Well, it's going to go forward. What the CIA director just said has everyone on a bit of an edge in town, because this is going to be some of the raw data, some of the raw evidence that led to the conclusions of the recently declassified report. And that's going to be rather hard to rebut from many people in Congress and the media. The problem for Democrats and the media is that they're trying to run the same grift on the same marks. I mean,
that's the entirety of their party. Running the same grift on the same marks year after year after year. And now you've got a guy shining a huge bat light on it and going, see what these scumbags are doing? See how they try to run the same script over and over and over and tell you it's different. And now it's happening, and Trump's teeing up this one with the big hammer. This one here, wha-bam! I'm taking down that entire architecture that they've put into place for decades, called the deep state and the media, one and the same. And you're lying. We've caught you lying. We got you on tape lying. And nobody dared ever taking these people on. And now President Trump is doing it. And Jonathan Turley is saying, yeah, they got a problem.
Trying to tell the public, don't look at this stuff. There's nothing to see here. The public largely rejected that whole pitch when they reelected Donald Trump. And it's not going to really work. I mean, this is very damning stuff. I mean, what was just released, in my view, undermined the testimony of people like John Brennan. But what Radcliffe is talking about is exposing it all to show the public.
Yeah. And so when and as this stuff comes out, and as all of it begins to get exposed, you have to do a yeoman's effort. Because as you can see, the media is not going to do it. You have to go out there and push the stuff and go, here's what was said, here's how it was said, here's who was mentioned, and how it all happened. Because John Brennan is getting a free pass on MSNBC to go out there and spew anti-venom. Because he's in trouble. But everybody in law understands this is about to go down. The hammer is about to hit hard. They have no harbor. They have no way to get out of this. None. And so just keep the pressure on.
Look exactly what happened. This is the real Russian conspiracy. There wasn't a Russian collusion conspiracy, but there was a Russian conspiracy. It's when John Brennan went into Obama in 2016 and said, we just heard Hillary Clinton is going to come up with a Russian collusion claim to hit Trump in the election. And then months later, it was Brennan, according to these documents, who overruled his own staff to get this infamous dossier included in the intelligence assessment.
See, one of the problems amongst many that the Democrats have is that there's just too much information. There's just stuff they can't get away from. And I'm telling you, that's why I firmly believe they did the raid on Mar-a-Lago. I think they were looking for all this information. Remember, Trump said, we got it all, and it freaked them out, and they're like, where's he got it? Where's it being hidden? Where's he keeping it? And so they had to push all in to get down to Mar-a-Lago, kick in the doors, and go through Melania's underwear drawer and everything, because they had to get it done. And now they know that they're literally rats running around trying to figure out what to do. And the only thing they can do is talk about Epstein. And it's working. We have the chance right now to completely stomp out this communistic, Marxist crap from the Democrat Party. And our own people are screaming about Epstein. I've never seen so many people try so hard to snatch defeat from the jaws of victory. Unless, of course, that's the idea. Hey, if it becomes so strong, if Trump has so much power, then, what do we do here? I'm not sure how I do this. See, that's, I think, a problem at this point. In Congress, in the Senate, and with the influencers and other people. He's amassing the power that we wanted him to have, and now people are like, wait a second, oh, hey. Yeah, they're afraid because they made wrong choices. They tried to distort your confirmation bias and question President Trump. Now, it's okay to question people, hey, but why don't they ask the question? And here's the difference, what I'm saying. We saw so many people, and you've seen them. He made a mistake with Pam Bondi. She's not the one. He needs to fire her. He needs to fire this person. He needs to fire that person. On and on and on and on. Instead of asking the question, what does President Trump potentially see in Pam Bondi? Why did he, or why is he okay with how she handled that? Nobody asked that question. It's quickly to convict. Got to get rid of her. She's the weak arm. She's doing nothing. Meanwhile, he still has her there. If he didn't want her there, she'd be gone. You can ask Mike Waltz. You can ask, what's his name? Matt Gaetz. If he didn't want you or he thought you were a problem, you'd be gone. So there's a reason why he has Pam Bondi where she is. There's a reason why he has Tulsi Gabbard where she is. And on and on and on. So instead of saying, hey, she should be gone, nobody gives a shit about your opinion, at least the people who really matter. Trump wants this to be this way. Now you have to ask your question, I wonder what he's doing. I wonder what his plan is here. See, that'd be a completely different perspective. That's questioning without convicting. All right, so we saw what happened with the binders and all this stuff. Wonder why Trump still wants her here. See the difference? When I say question things, that's the question. Not to say, oh, she screwed up, she should be fired, and Trump doesn't know what he's doing. All right, wow, you got all the way to there from November. How did you get from I'm all in to I don't trust Trump and Pam Bondi needs to be fired? Because of something you saw online. That's it. And what she said on Fox and some other interviews. But if you go back to the beginning of this video, what was the opening of this video? You know, if you don't remember what the opening of this video was, let me just, before we get too far, I want you to understand what the opening of the video was. It was only 32 seconds long. So as you're looking to convict Pam Bondi, what I'd like you to do is to listen to this with a different perspective now.
All warfare is based on deception. Life often requires presenting things differently than they appear, whether in negotiations or everyday challenges. Showing your hand too soon can lead to failure. Control the narrative and use strategy to stay one step ahead. Truth, when paired with discretion, is a powerful weapon.
Truth, when paired with deception, is a powerful weapon. And so maybe they didn't look up the people who are being panicants. Maybe they didn't look up and see, do you know what this guy's all about? You know, I just didn't show up on the scene in 2021. I've been following Trump since 2015. Let me tell you a little bit about this guy. And so before you jumping all in on Pam Bondi and that she should be fired, understand what might be happening is what people should be saying. Unless, of course, you like the engagement from people who are panicants. If you're trying to bait people. Because I look back and I'm like, okay, I know his specific references to Art of War. He even named his book, The Art of the Deal, as part of Art of War. He's followed Sun Tzu. He has spoken about Sun Tzu. And number 4 is be completely deceptive as a weapon. So if you know that right now, if you know that one of his credos is, I should understand deception as a weapon, that should just cause you to think a lot. Your confirmation bias should be going, oh, wait a second. Maybe these people don't know what the hell they're talking about. Maybe Barry doesn't know what he's talking about. But does Trump know what he's doing? That's the question. Hey, is this something that he's probably planned out for the last 4 years? Did he sit in a courtroom every single day like this with a scowl on his face? Did he just sit there? Did he go along with it all? And you think he's making the wrong decisions. Tell me what those decisions are that you know for sure have been wrong. Because most people can't tell you what's wrong. They can only tell you what other people said. That's the difference.
2. The men, and dare I even say the women, there's some gals there on the Federal Reserve, have not been doing the right thing. But for us to be able, as American citizens, to rightly criticize them so they can steer that ship in the right direction and bring rates down, to finally give working Americans a chance, to give retirees a chance, to give businesses small and large a chance.
Wait a second. I want to address something Jen has. She's here. She's been here for a while. If someone in the Fanfare family disagrees or doesn't understand a comment, question it kindly. Don't say it's BS. No, I'm not saying you're BS. I'm not saying people are BS. I'm saying they're consuming BS. Big difference. Big difference. People are from what I've met, people are analytically more inclined once you help them understand and go look. And that way they can discern what is BS and what is not. Like I'm going to show you this piece right now, which most people, not sure if he mentions it here, but I will mention it to you. This is James Fishback, who I had on the show last week. And he's talking about the Federal Reserve. Listen to what he says here.
President Trump's golden age, we've got to bring transparency and accountability to the United States Federal Reserve Azuria is proud to bring this case, not just on behalf of our firm, but every worker in America, every family, every retiree, and every business, small and large, who has felt frustrated at that monolithic institution, by the way, overpriced and extravagant headquarters in which that monolithic institution resides. The real scandal isn't the 3.1, and yes, Mr. Chairman, it is $3.1 billion on the headquarters. The real scandal is that interest rates are at a 20-year high, and no one can explain why. They don't take questions. They don't hold themselves out to the public to be accountable. Whether you're a Republican or a Democrat, whether you voted for President Trump or not, we bring this case because every American deserves the dignity of knowing what the government is doing in their name and to them and the people they love and cherish. Thank you.
All right. So when you hear that, one of the things you have to realize is that interest rates are at a 20-year high. Many people, doesn't affect them. They're either going to stay as renters. They haven't gone and looked at buying a car. They don't understand that their landlord maybe having to charge based upon his interest rates. It is not something that everybody can grasp. And so it's not talked about a lot on the news because they try to dumb things down. Not at all saying anybody's dumb. I'm saying you don't hear the reasoning behind it. 20 years, they haven't adjusted it. 20-year high. And one of the things, and I think it was James who said it, might have been David Sachs, or somebody else who said it on Twitter, is President Trump doesn't have to have Powell lower rates right now for there to be a success. You see, everybody out there, not everybody got it. I won't use superlatives. A lot of people out there were like, Trump needs to fire Powell. Trump needs to fire Powell. No, Trump doesn't need to fire Powell. Trump is exposing Powell. Before 2 weeks ago, how many people knew there were $3 billion in overruns at the Federal Reserve? Now everybody should know it. This guy who's in charge of interest rates and managing how your money is can't manage his own project. Nobody talks about it. In fact, the news made themselves look stupid. Trump said it was 3.1, but it was only 2.6 billion over budget. Now people were talking about it, and quickly it went away. Nobody wants to talk about it anymore. He exposed him. When you saw him standing next to President Trump and Tim Scott, most people never see the chairman of the Federal Reserve, whoever it is, in an environment other than walking up to a podium and actually reading something. So this what it seemed to be an unannounced visit, when he went there and he's like, right now I'm looking at this here, and it looks like your 3.1, pulls it out of his pocket, stuns the guy standing next to him, go, you got a copy of this? Here you go. You can take a look at it. And he didn't know what to do. The guy who's in charge of how much you're going to pay on your car, your credit card, your mortgage, didn't have any clue what was going on, and the world saw it. Now, here's why he doesn't have to fire him, for it to be an extremely positive thing. And you've seen Scott Bessent saying it. I'll think I'll get a copy of it. They're already talking about his replacement. Oh yeah, so yeah, Fred's going to take over once we get rid of this fool. Whether he resigns or his term expires, whatever way it is, we're going to bring in Fred. And Fred, when he comes in, is going to do what? Oh, he's going to substantially lower interest rates. Those of you who are trading, those of you who are forecasting, those of you who are skating where the puck is, you don't have to do something right now to move the market. The market will price that in. The market right now knows that puck. I think his term ends in May. The market knows right now in May, oh yeah, come May, we're going to do this. So if the market and business are pricing in lower interest rates for May and June of next year, what should you be doing? Hey, you know what? I'm looking at buying a house, but I'm going to hold off and wait till the mortgages go down in May or June. How do you know the interest rates are going to go down? Trump told us. How many of you are thinking like that? Again, that's where that puck stuff is going. Understand, don't look at things here, look at things over there. And when you look at things over there, oh, hey, so I don't need to fire you right now. Everybody's going to price it in. Everybody who knows what's going on understands the day he takes his stuff out the office, bada bing. You know that now. I tried to tell you that day. I'm like, yeah, watch all the different things. Trump is telling you about the rocket ship. And people are like, oh, Barry, it's not. So he doesn't have to fire him tomorrow. Okay, people price in the 6 months of pain. Everybody knows, hey, my interest rates may go down in September. Okay, it's going down in September. What does that mean? I just like you, and I like to bring it. I use humor and show you things, but man, you got to start looking at the signals versus the noise. You have to see what's about to happen to understand why it's happening. So everyone here is talking about Epstein and this and that and Bondi and that, and I'm like, you know what? In September, the interest rates are going to go down, and then again when he gets fired, or rather when his term is up. So if I know those two things, I know for a fact that that's going to happen. I don't have to have supposition. I don't have to talk to anybody. I don't have to wonder what this person on X is saying. I know definitively when Jerome Powell's ass hits the sidewalk, the interest rates are going down the next day. And you should know that as well. And then you are definitely skating to where the puck is. You understand that? That's what I feel I like to do. I don't want to question the stuff I don't know. I'd like to get concrete on the stuff I do know. I'd like you to get concrete on the stuff that you do know. So that's what that is. Yup, it's like purchasing silver. Now you know why. Now you know why I'm working with the people at Lear Capital. Looking down the road. Absolutely. Let's see what else we got here. Wow, Barry didn't think of that. The rates will definitely go down in May. I've been thinking about downsizing and buying a condo. Yeah. I just try to keep reiterating because I can also watch other people and they don't tell you. It's done. It's priced in. Maybe because I'm in real estate and I hear guys talking and I'm talking to mortgage brokers and they're all saying, hey man, so we're getting ready. There's a term, I used the term a couple times, priced in. It's been priced in. Meaning we've already baked it in at this point that cake in May is going to be a whole lot tastier. Just imagine right now if the mortgage rates drop, they may drop interest rates in September a quarter point, but imagine, in May it dropping 2 points. And if that interest rate drops in 2 points, where does that put you in regards to you wanting to buy a property or a new car or a credit card offer? Maybe. Okay, let me give you a little sign. I told people this before. You're pricing it in. Right now you've got a credit card. Your credit card rate's 14. You know in May it's going to drop a couple points or so. You know in September it's going to drop. Maybe, hey, it's August. Hey, Mr. Banker, yeah, you know that 12% you charge me right now? Yeah, I needs to come down to 9. Why? Because the interest rates are going to be lower. So if you don't lower my rate, I'm going to go someplace else. And I remember telling people before, because a lot of people didn't realize back in when we talked, that you had the opportunity to negotiate your interest rate. You're not stuck with it. You're going to get offers. People are going to say, oh, you've been paying your bills on time? Yeah. Well, here, we're going to give it to you at 9. Oh, so this my own bank is charging me 12 and 14? Hey, I don't think so. I understand that the interest rates are going to drop in September. What are you going to do for me? Yeah, that's free. Right now you should be calling your bank and saying, hey, I understand this is going to happen. So let's get ahead of it. I'm going to expect you to drop my interest rates on my credit cards in September. Or I'm out. And then come May, you get another drop. Hey, we need to pull this down to 8 or 7. Understand you have power, and Trump's giving you that power, and people are talking about Epstein.
Number 1.
John Brennan, Jim Clapper, Jim Comey, Susan Rice, all these people that continue to this day to undermine this country's constitutional system of government. You know, it's like, when is somebody going to be held to account? That's what the American people want to see. Never mind Epstein and P. Diddy. Give me a break.
And that's what I think the big hammer has to be, is because I'm going to put this on President Trump at this point. I believe President Trump has to be the person who brings MAGA back to a solid unit. With it being fractured so much, with so many people wanting different things, it is now going to be incumbent upon him to say, all right, guys, let's get back together. Let's use this hammer and do this, and do this so that everybody is back together. Because different factions and different people find different priorities. General Michael Flynn, who was personally prosecuted and persecuted and had much of his fortune taken from him, he wants accountability. That's probably his numero uno. Other people are like, hey, listen, show me how to be more prosperous. I'll be good. Other people, hey, listen, let's do something with Ghislaine Maxwell and bring some justice to that. There's so many different factions at this point. And some have more priority to others. Me personally, I can't control the Epstein stuff. I can't control the Lawfare stuff. I can control prosperity. So sometimes people say, Barry, you talk about money too much. It's like, no, that's the part I have. That's the part I can do something about. I am not an attorney. I am not somebody who can, go find the 300,000 kids. That's not me. I'm pretty much a spectator in those two incidences. Yeah, I want to see something happen. I hope something happens. I pray something happens. But until it happens, I'm watching. And over here, with all the law stuff that's going on and people, the Russiagate and everything else, again, you're a spectator. There is nothing. Unless, of course, you're in the FBI watching this, which some people are, there's nothing you can do about it, which is a helpless feeling. And I understand there's many people who feel helpless because they're like, man, I just got to see somebody get arrested. Okay, so what are you going to do about it? Well, there's nothing I can do about it. Okay, what can you personally take care of? That's a very easy question. What is it, with everything President Trump is doing, what is it that you personally can take under your wings and say, I'm going to go for this? And when I sit back, I go, I'm not a lawyer. I'm not a hunter. Can't find these kids. I can work on that. And I can tell people about that. And so that's why I feel the way I do. Of course, I've got a wife, a daughter, 2 granddaughters, a grandson. I find that stuff to be abhorrent. I want people strung up by their toes. I don't even want trials. But I can't do anything about it. And the only thing I can do is promote it and get people on who are in the fight and let them tell you what's going on. I've had so many people on who have been able to tell you, here's what we're doing, here's how we've done it. But in that instance, all I can do is bring the information. Over here on the Lawfare stuff, same thing. I can bring you information. On this stuff, I can tell you how to do it, what you should be doing. And so I'm not, it seems like Barry's not all big on the Epstein stuff. Oh yeah, I am. But unfortunately, we're just spectators. And all the speculation doesn't do any good because I sit back and go, maybe there was something on that film. Maybe there wasn't something on that film. And it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter what I see in that 1 minute gap. Doesn't matter what I see what Pam did or she didn't do. There's nothing I can do about it. And I'm one of those people is I want to spend my time in the best way I possibly can. My time is extremely valuable to me. And if I'm over here, and I do that with other stuff too, by the way. If there's things that are argumentative around me, if there's turmoil, I ain't got time for that. No, no, I ain't got time for it. We got to take care of this. This is huge, and that's what I'm trying to say to you guys, because we do have so much to discuss and go over. Let's see here. What do I have? I got this from. All right, I'm gonna have to show you all this. What? This is a lot. All right, so let's talk about this real quick before I take some questions and get you guys up in here. Talk to you guys again about the guys from Patriot Addict. Hold on, I gotta hit a button because they changed things for me. So let me put that like that. Boom. All right, so what they've got this time is the berry pack. The berry pack includes, okay, a whole bunch of stuff here. Let me start grabbing stuff and getting it ready. And let me put the hat on. It includes, and this is an unbelievable deal. It includes the Trump hat. It includes the 2024 Trump flag. Let's show that. Wait a second here. Is that backwards or forward? It goes this way. All right. The President Trump flag that is now stuck on my holder. Okay. All right. So remember, you got the hat. You got the President Trump Make America Great Again flag. Absolutely huge. Right? You got that. You got the President Trump blanket. Somebody sent me a picture of theirs. They put it up on their wall. But you can do whatever you want. If you want to take it on a tailgate or something, football season coming, the President Trump blankie. It's a huge blanket. And in addition to that, you get the President Trump red knife. Wow. So this is the red knife. You guys are familiar with the red knife. You get the red knife. And on top of all that, you get the signature knife as well. Let me just pull that out of the package here. And hold on. It's being difficult. It fits in here so tight. All right, here's the signature knife, 45-47, and let me put it in the light so you can see it. Hold on, let me just make sure you can see this. And there. All right, so you get, again, you get the hat, you get the flag, you get the blanket, you get both knives, the red and the signature, both of them. Whew, man, that's a great deal. And with every order, you also get the free Trump 250 plane. You can see the plane. Let me make sure it's in the screen here so you can see it. You see it back right about there is the Trump plane. I should bring that closer to you. But you get the Trump plane too. This is a crazy deal. You get the Trump plane. This offer is valid only for you fanfare viewers. It's worth $500, and you get this for about $90 today. Offer expires very soon, so act now. Woo! Go ahead and click the QR code. Wow, that's a crazy deal. Crazy deal. I advise you, if you're interested, that might be the deal that you're going to want to take. Both knives, the flag, the blanket, the hat, all of it for under $100. That's a deal. That is definitely a deal. Guys at Patriot Addict, they outdid themselves on that one. Big time, big time. All right, so here's the problem. I hadn't been behind the desk for a while, and so I was like, okay, let me gauge with this new style how I want to do things. And as you can see, I had all this set to go. I had the Democrat regret, the prosperity is good, seriously, no one can stop what is coming, and fitness is racist, and I'm 2.5 hours in, and I didn't even got to those 4 stories yet. So it's 4:19. What do you guys think? Think we should go with a 7:30 show tonight, or should I hold that till tomorrow? Because there's a whole lot more I've got ready to go, and I didn't even have a chance to get to it yet. Whew, lots. All right. That's what we got. Trump could generate Doge checks for us overnight. No front end relief. He could have been throwing some bones. Most of you agree with this. I don't. And here's why. I don't need bones from the government. I need opportunity. And if this stuff moves out of my way, anything that the Doge check could do would be small potatoes. Understand the opportunities that President Trump is doing for you. Tomorrow 7:30 shows. People's like, up to you. Tonight, come back tonight. All right, well, we'll do that. We'll come back tonight, and I'll show all that stuff, because I cannot believe I didn't even get to all this stuff. It's all sitting right there. It's probably like another hour of stuff to go through. So I can go through that. And plus, you know what I'll do? I'll them over. Well, they had been investigating for 5 or 6 years. And it took them over a year just to get him indicted and brought to trial. NBC girl, going forward, I'm going to watch your show before I let my emotions override my thinking. Thank you. Al Ulas, forget the polls. Scoldus is about to abolish race-based gerrymandering as unconstitutional. 25 Dem House seats vanished by midterms. That's a big one. Beverly Litton, is Trump smoking out the deep state creatures? And those who are maybe online taking money from some of the deep state? I don't know what, I won't say her name, but don't know what the hell she's doing. G. Fisher, but a lot of us were kicked off Twitter twice. Oh, yeah. Robin got kicked off of Twitter. Dorsey, her original profile, she never got it back. Beverly Litton, Eric Metaxas posted that Stephen Miller said the statute of limitation has not expired on the Russian collusion case and is still ongoing. Yep, exactly. Brian Newland, what do we call Hillary for Benghazi? Interesting. Anna Marie Kelly, thank you. Christine, Barry, would you get Curtis Sliwa running for an interview? I'd love to get him. If Ashley can get a hold of Curtis, I would love to talk to him. Barry, I live in Australia. I can't order the knives. There's some way I could get it. Let me find out for you. Australia. Writing it down. I'll find out. Tinley, maybe, just maybe, some right-wing influencers don't want to win. They perpetuate the left versus right. That's their money, like internet warmongers. I'm never going to point the finger at people in that regard, but just something doesn't seem right. Doesn't seem right whatsoever. Hello, Christina. Barry, could you give a shout out to Nikki Hayes? It's her first time here. We go to the same church. She plays bass in our band. Well, I'd love to see a video of her playing a stick. But Nikki, thank you very much. All right, G. Fisher, you're hitting a side rail here. Any idea why the honest pollster has become so dishonest? Use your own discernment. Fazul, 47, drawing them in with Bondi. Step back and watch. If I need to include those 20 quotes from Sun Tzu again, let me know. I mean, it's very, very interesting. Maybe I'll do that tonight as an opener. Just another knucklehead. Correction, Barry, not 3.1, only like 900 million. Total is 3.1. I'm here to help. Thank you. Only. Where'd that go? No more bees, please. The hunted is the hunter. Minimum, how sweet it is. Remember, he said that. He actually said that. He gives you so many breadcrumbs. I don't understand why people don't listen. I mean, he actually said those words. Fight for truth, thank you. Stephen Lisner. Trump had, what's that? He had the burn bags this time. He said we have it all. Maybe that's what he did have. Don't know. Michael Capetta, thank you. Buddy Sanders, yeah, 7:30. Okay. Captain Danny, you back in the saddle again? I'm back in again, baby. Thank you. Neo, thank you, Barry. Fanfare team and mods. Trump has to bring that hammer down, so trusting our press got in this right. Wonder would he bring General Flynn back? It's possible. It's definitely possible. But I remember when I interviewed General Flynn, he said he is stronger and he can do more on the outside. So that's interesting. And John Owens just came in late. I want to make sure I acknowledge him. John Owens, thank you very much. All right, everybody, I'll see you at 7:30 tonight. We'll start again with the Sun Tzu stuff. It's only like 5 minutes. I won't talk too much through it.